So if you have any hormonal imbalance, you need to listen to this because it's an often forgotten about part of hormonal imbalances. And it's one of the, if not the primary reason why hormonal imbalances start in the first place. Okay, so obviously things like diet, lifestyle are critically important. We need to ensure that we're doing the right things, but there's a secondary system that really is the leading factor of most hormonal imbalances. So, and what I'm talking about is hormone metabolism and hormone clearance. So a lot of women and practitioners like ourselves, we focus on the symptoms of hormonal imbalances. So we're focusing on the heavy periods, we're focusing on the cramps, the pain, we're focusing on the hot flushes, the irregular periods, and all the symptoms that come about from hormonal imbalances. And we've got a product that you all know called Happy Hormones, which is a general regulator of hormones, and it works on your hormone control center in the brain to help the body regulate its hormones. But it's only one part of the puzzle. The second part of the puzzle is your hormone metabolism and hormone clearance. And if you're not doing that, this is where all these conditions develop in the first place, because it's this excessive hormones circulating in your system that causes a lot of the symptoms. And then when we head then into perimenopause and menopause, it's a lifelong exposure to these hormones that's desensitized your body to these hormones. And when these hormone levels drop off, then all these symptoms of hot flushes and so forth develop. So it's really important that early in life, teenagers start with and understand these two important mechanisms of hormone metabolism and clearance. When you deal with that, then you get much, much better results in terms of balancing your hormones. And then Happy Hormones is what brings it all together at the end. But often people start with Happy Hormones and they forget our other advice around improving liver function and improving digestion, which is that key in hormone metabolism and clearance. So there's two things there, your liver and your digestive system. Now let's just take a step back and talk about hormones. So we have three exposures to hormones. You have your own endogenous hormones, so the hormones we produce. And a lot of women develop hormonal imbalances just from your own hormones. And that's because you don't break them down, you don't clear them. And then there's this recirculation of these hormones. So these hormones are having double and triple and quadruple effect on your system when you don't clear them properly. Then what is the remedy? That when you go to the doctor, then they give you synthetic hormones. So you're putting fuel on the fire. And often these women, and we estimate probably about 50% of women don't tolerate synthetic hormones well. If your liver and digestion is working well, usually you can tolerate these synthetic hormones for a period of time. Eventually it catches up with you. But so we have our own internal hormones, and then we have these external exogenous synthetic hormones. And then to make matters worse and complicated, we have these environmental hormone mimics. So from plastics and petrochemicals and skincare and perfumes and all these things that bind to our hormone receptor sites. So three things: our own internal hormones, synthetic hormones, and then these exogenous environmental hormones we have to deal with. So our poor old liver has to deal with these. And many women, right from a young age, cannot do this because their livers are not working optimally and their digestive systems are not working well. So let's talk about the liver. So the liver has three main pathways that it uses to break down hormones. We have our methylation pathway, we have conjugation, and then we have sulfonation. There's another pathway called glycination, which has a smaller part to play. But the important thing to understand is your liver is the key organ that starts this breakdown of process. So you have these hormones, which are effective. Think of them as drugs or chemicals that are affecting our system, and they're very powerful messengers, and they have to be broken down and gotten rid of, because if they're not broken down, they'll recirculate and have a double, triple effect. So the liver needs to break them down. Now, as I said, from a young age, because of either genetic factors, and 50% of people have the MTHFR gene or genetic mutation, which reduces your ability to methylate or to clear hormones out of your system. So it's a detox pathway. And there's different levels of expression of this genetic mutation. But our diet and lifestyle have a big impact on our liver as well. So sugar, sugar and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which we see so much of these days. And kids are having so much sugar that they're damaging their livers from a very young age. So when you start to go into puberty and you get this rush of hormones, if your liver's not breaking them down, and sometimes just that pure rush, the liver cannot deal with those hormones. And that's why teenage years are often so difficult, because you're not breaking those hormones down. And then you're getting this rush of hormones, the liver's not breaking down, and you're getting this triple effect. And that's why you get all the moods, the acne, the fatigue, the heavy periods, painful periods, and so forth from there. It's your liver is not breaking them down. The second part to that is your digestive system. And very few people have efficient digestive systems. Most people are constipated to some degree. So what happens is the liver doesn't break those hormones down. Even if it is breaking them down well and you're constipated, then those hormones are going to recirculate as well. So we have to focus on improving digestive function, making sure you're not constipated. And there is a part of our microbiome is called your estrobolome, which is a difficult one to say, but it's a range of bacteria that help to break down estrogen, particularly in our digestive tract. So your microbiome plays a really important role as well. So how do we do that? So we have Happy Liver. Is a great product, simple, easy product to help improve your liver function. Then when it comes to digestion, diet is key. So we suggest a plant predominant diet, not necessarily a vegetarian diet, but plant predominant. So aim for 30 fruits and vegetables and plants in your diet each week, and a predominance of plants in our diet, because those plant fibers bind to these hormones and excrete them. If you're constipated, look at things like soaked chia and basil seeds, a great way to add that extra fiber that you need. And by the way, fiber is one of the biggest deficiencies in our diets these days. Soaked linseeds are another really, really good one that help to bind to hormones. And there's lots and lots of benefits of the lignans that are in flax seeds and the oils that are in flaxseed as well. But then things like kiwi fruit, pears, apples, as many of these plant fibers are really, really important. And then adding in fermented foods and live foods is the best way to repopulate your microbiome and support your microbiome. And these prebiotics, which is the plant fibers, and then these live bacteria in the fermented foods. We also have our Happy Greens and Happy Turmeric that have got live probiotics. My opinion on dried probiotics is they have their place, but they're not going to fix a microbiome imbalance. They just don't work well enough. Get those bacteria that are live and ready to work, and then feed those bacteria. So that combination of getting your liver working well with Happy Liver, getting your digestive system working well, then happy hormones will then just regulate everything and signal to your body to balance those hormones that are in your system. But if you've got these excessive circulating hormones in your system, then happy hormones is always going to struggle, because we need to take one step back, and that's improve liver function and bowel function, and then take a step back before that and improve your diet and lifestyle. If you're in that perimenopause and menopausal phase, then it's not too late. We still have to improve your liver function to get your body clearing these toxins out of the system. And it's part of resensitizing your body to those hormones that you have in your system, because a lot of those hormones will have bound to hormone receptor sites. So Happy Hormones is a really good one to clean those receptor sites. But it's still important to make sure your bowels are working well, make sure your liver's working well. And that's this triad of balancing hormones. It's the hormone control center in the brain, it's your liver, and it's your digestive system. You get those three working properly together, then all the diet and lifestyle stuff we talk about, stress, sugar, alcohol, coffee, sleeping properly, all these things still apply. But I just wanted you to understand the importance of the liver and digestion on hormonal imbalances, because whether you're taking synthetic hormones or not, it's just such an important thing. And if you react to synthetic hormones, 100% your liver and digestive tract are not processing those hormones, and that's why you feel bad. If you have to take these hormones, then definitely making sure you support your liver and making sure your bowels are clearing those estrogen is just so, so important. And it's also important to prevent a lot of these long-term side effects of taking these hormones. But if you're wondering if you're using them as a treatment option, it's much better to focus on your liver, your digestion, and that hormone control center with Happy Hormones or Happy Period, and we can get good long-term success. But hope that makes sense, and let us know if you've got any questions.